I rarely went back to my hometown during vacation, but after dinner, my dad ordered me to wash the dishes. I froze. Don't we have a housekeeper? My mom frowned. Laura works so hard taking care of us every day. Since you're back, you should let her rest. You should do everything. But I couldn't understand. I'm paying her to be our housekeeper. Isn't that what she's here for? Why should I pay money and still do the work myself? This comment made the housekeeper cry and angered my parents. My mom frowned. What good are you? I barely see you once a year. Laura's more thoughtful than you. At least she's here every single day. My dad pointed at my nose. Don't bother coming back anymore. From now on, Laura is our real daughter. You can go do whatever you want. I laughed bitterly. I was busy with work, but I sent home plenty of money every month and even hired an expensive housekeeper. Yet in the end, they treated the housekeeper like their daughter. If that's how it is, I won't be paying the housekeeper's salary anymore. The company gave us time off, so I went home early. I wanted to surprise my parents, but when I got to the house, my key wouldn't open the door. I tried several times, but the key still wouldn't turn. That's when I realized they'd changed the locks. With no other choice, I pulled out my phone and called my mom. It rang several times before she picked up. I could hear the bustling sounds of shopping in the background, along with my mom's voice. Hello, Charlotte? Why are you calling all of a sudden? Mom, I'm home, standing outside. Why was the lock changed? I can't get in. My mom paused for a few seconds before answering slowly. Oh, you're back? Your dad, Laura, and I are out shopping. Just wait by the door for a bit. We'll be back soon. Before I could say anything else, she hung up. I stood in the hallway with my suitcase, waiting for a full hour. Finally, I heard footsteps in the corridor. I looked up and saw my parents walking ahead with the housekeeper Laura squeezed between them. Her right hand was linked affectionately with my mom's arm, and her left hand carried shopping bags for my dad. The three of them were laughing and chatting like a family of three. When they reached the door and saw me standing there, none of them looked surprised. My dad just glanced at me indifferently, and my mom only said casually, "Oh, you're back." Laura, on the other hand, immediately let go of my mom's hand. A warm smile spread across her face as she hurried toward me. "Charlotte, you're home. Why didn't you tell us in advance? We could have picked you up." I forced a smile and nodded slightly, my eyes falling on the door lock. "When was the lock changed?" "Why didn't anyone tell me?" Laura quickly explained. "It was changed a month ago. The old lock was getting stuck. It wasn't very safe. I was worried about Uncle and Auntie since they're getting older, so I had someone install a new one. I didn't have time to tell you. Please don't mind, Charlotte." Before I could respond, my dad snorted coldly and pushed open the door, his tone dripping with dissatisfaction. Someone who couldn't even come home for Christmas. What difference does changing the lock make to you? I knew my dad was still upset that I hadn't come home for Christmas. He was holding a grudge. I didn't want to start a fight the moment I got back, so I didn't respond and just followed them inside. After entering, I instinctively went to the shoe cabinet to get my slippers, but I saw my pair of fleece slippers on Laura's feet. Laura noticed my gaze and awkwardly pulled out a pair of disposable slippers from the bottom of the cabinet, handing them to me. "Charlotte, I'm sorry. I put on the wrong ones. Wear these for now." I looked at the thin disposable slippers, then at my fleece slippers on Laura's feet. A strange feeling rose in my chest, but I didn't say anything. I silently changed into the disposable slippers. After dinner, I just sat down to rest and recover from the long journey when my dad pointed at the dining table. "Go wash the dishes." I stood there, stunned, and instinctively replied, "Don't we have a housekeeper?" My mom immediately frowned, put down her water glass, and gave me a stern look. "Laura works so hard taking care of us. Cooking, cleaning, exhausting herself all day long. Now that you're back, let her rest. What's wrong with you washing some dishes?" "I'm exhausted from work too," I said, looking at them in confusion. "I work overtime every day. I finally got a break and came home to rest, and you want me to do chores? Besides, I'm paying her good money to be here. Isn't this what she's supposed to do? Why should I pay and still do the work myself?" Laura stood to the side, head lowered, looking like she'd been wronged. My dad slammed his hand on the table, his face darkening as he shouted at me, "Money, money, money, all you care about is money. Is there anything in your eyes besides money? I think you'd rather spend time with your money and your job than with your parents. You didn't come home for Christmas. You barely visit. And now when you're finally here, all you talk about is money. You might as well just live with your money and your job. Why even bother coming back?" My mom sighed beside him, disappointment filling her eyes. "Exactly. After you started working, you rarely come home. I barely see you once a year. Laura's the one who takes care of everything around here. When we're feeling unwell, Laura's the one who runs around getting medicine, bringing us water, taking care of us. And you, as our daughter, do you even care about us?" As her words fell, Laura gently stepped forward, reached out to hold my mom's hand, and softly consoled her. "Don't be angry. Charlotte's a senior manager now. She's busy with work. It's not that she doesn't want to come home." Hearing them talk like this made me so angry I wanted to laugh. I don't care about them. I send them $10,000 a month for living expenses. Worried they'd be too frugal to spend it, I hired a high-priced housekeeper to take care of their meals and daily needs. I work myself to death out there so they can live comfortably. How did I become worse than a paid housekeeper in their eyes? I clenched my fists, suppressing my anger. "Mom, Dad, that's not fair. You say I don't care about you? That I only focus on work and money? Before, whenever I had free time, I came home. You complained I was wasting money, said I looked foolish always coming back like a child who never grew up, told me to stop running home all the time. I listened. But I've never missed calling or video chatting, have I? I've never missed sending your monthly living expenses, have I? I hired Laura at a high salary specifically to take care of you. Doesn't any of that count in your eyes?" My dad's face immediately darkened. "But you didn't even come home for Christmas. Is that acceptable? You weren't here for a family reunion. What good is money? Your mom and I have enough. We don't need your money. Don't be upset." Laura quickly stepped forward, gently tugging on my dad's arm with an obedient smile. "Charlotte has it tough working in New York. Senior managers are so busy. She can't help it. I'm sure she still thinks about you in her heart." But my dad only got angrier after hearing that. "Senior manager? So So what? Why does a girl need to work so hard? Eventually, she'll get married and return to family life anyway. What's the point of climbing so high? My mom chimed in. Charlotte, you're not young anymore. You really should consider getting married. A colleague at work has a son about your age. He's honest and dependable, works locally, and comes from a good family. Since you're back this time, why don't you meet him? If it works out, you can get engaged. I didn't even think before refusing. I don't want to go on blind dates and I don't want to get married. You don't want to get married? My dad's face turned iron blue. Are you planning to spend your whole life with your job? Why not? I met his gaze. My dad was so angry his chest heaved. Your mom and I are getting old. We need someone nearby. If you go on blind dates, get married, and stay here, we'll have someone to rely on, someone to take care of us. Why can't you think about us? I frowned. Haven't I already hired Laura to take care of you? My dad slammed the table and issued his ultimatum. Then if you won't get married, quit your job and come back to take care of us. Otherwise, stop recognizing us as your parents and we'll make Laura our daughter instead. I laughed in frustration. When I graduated, I planned to find work back home so I could easily take care of you. I looked at them calmly. But you thought it was embarrassing for a graduate of a prestigious university to work in a small town. You said I had no ambition and forced me to go to New York. I've struggled in New York for so many years, finally getting a foothold and building my current life. And now, with one sentence, you want me to give it all up and quit? I shook my head firmly. That's impossible. My dad's brow furrowed, his voice immediately rising. What do you mean, impossible? We raised you all these years, and when we ask you to come back, you make excuses? I'm not making excuses, I explained patiently. My job in New York is what I fought for all these years. If I just give it up, all my suffering would be for nothing. So you're just going to abandon us? My mom joined in, her face full of disapproval. You're our only daughter. When we're old, who else can we rely on but you? I didn't say I'd abandon you. I took a deep breath and offered a solution. If you want me to take care of you, fine. Move to New York and live with me. That way I can work and look after you at the same time. My dad immediately waved his hand dismissively. Move to New York? We've lived in our hometown for decades. All our relatives and friends are here. We're not moving to some unfamiliar place where we don't know anyone. My mom nodded along. Exactly. You're still renting in New York. How could that be as comfortable as home? We're not going. I frowned. If you won't go and I can't quit, then there's nothing I can do. My dad's face darkened. Nothing you can do? I think you've just grown wings and don't care about us anymore. Anyway, I won't quit. My tone was firm, without any hint of compromise. My dad opened his mouth, about to continue scolding me, when Laura quickly stepped forward, gently mediating. Charlotte rarely comes home. Let's talk nicely as a family instead of fighting and hurting each other. She turned to me with a gentle smile. Charlotte, Uncle and Auntie are just getting older and want someone to keep them company. That's natural. Don't be upset. Hearing this, my dad's expression softened slightly. He looked at Laura with instant warmth. Laura's so understanding, so considerate of us. Not like you. All you care about is work and money. I was too tired to argue with them anymore. Even one more word felt exhausting. I turned and headed to my room. The moment I pushed open the door, I froze completely. My bed had unfamiliar sheets and a comforter. The desk was covered with skincare products and hair ties. The closet was full of women's clothing. Clearly someone had been living here long term. I whipped around to look at Laura, who had followed me. Don't you have your own room? Why are you living in mine without permission? Laura's eyes flickered and she lowered her head, looking flustered. Charlotte, I'm sorry, Before she could finish, my mom spoke up to explain. Laura's air conditioner broke. We tried to fix it several times but couldn't. It was cold, so I let her stay in your room. You never come home anyway. It would just sit empty. The anger in my chest flared up again. Even if I don't stay here, this is still my room. How could you let her move in without asking me? How could we? My dad suddenly roared, his face livid. Your mom and I bought this house. We can let whoever we want live here. Forget letting Laura stay. We could kick you out if we wanted. I was trembling with rage. Looking at my parents, who should have been so familiar, they suddenly felt like strangers. This was supposed to be my home, but I felt like an outsider. I stopped arguing, turned, and walked to the entryway, pulling my suitcase behind me. Fine. If you want me to leave, I'll leave. My dad snorted coldly, his face full of disdain. Go ahead and leave if you're so capable. Don't come back to this house. My mom opened her mouth, but in the end, she only sighed and said nothing more. Laura stood to the side, anxiously speaking up. Charlotte, don't be angry. It's all my fault. I'll move out right now. I didn't want to hear her talk. I pulled my suitcase and walked out the door without looking back. I dragged the heavy case down the stairs, step by step, and finally took a cab to a nearby hotel. The next day at noon, my cousin Muriel called. Charlotte, we're visiting the ancestors' graves today. You're back, right? Hurry over. Everyone's almost here. Got it. I'm on my way. After hanging up, I quickly got ready and headed to the cemetery. When I arrived, I could see from a distance that all the relatives had gathered. My parents were there too. But as I got closer, I stopped in my tracks. Laura was there too, standing beside my mom. Muriel saw me first and waved. Charlotte, over here. I walked over and asked quietly, why is she here? Muriel sighed. Your parents brought her. After the ancestral rites were finished, everyone went to a pre-booked restaurant for a meal. The whole extended family sat around a large table. During the meal, my mom said, since all the relatives are here today, Caceres and I have something to announce. My dad took over, looking at everyone. We're planning to officially adopt Laura as our daughter. As soon as those words came out, the table fell silent. Relatives exchanged glances. My mom continued, Laura is truly thoughtful. She's with us every day, serving us tea and water, cooking and cleaning. She's more attentive than Charlotte. After my mom spoke, relatives instinctively looked at me. I held my knife and fork but said nothing. My dad glanced at me, his tone growing heavy. Unlike some people who can't be seen all year long, when she finally comes home, all she talks about is money. Not thoughtful at all. We asked her to quit and come back to take care of us. She refused. We asked her to go on blind dates and settle down. She won't do that either. Her wings have grown hard. She doesn't care whether we live or die anymore. Muriel quickly tried to smooth things over. Charlotte does care about you. She really is busy with work. The pressure is intense. Don't talk about her like that. My mom immediately waved her hand, her expression sour. Busy, busy, busy. All she knows is being busy. What's the point of all that money if she can't be here with us? Laura's different. She knows when we're cold or hot. When we're not feeling well, she's the one running around, buying medicine, bringing water, taking such good care of us. She's so much more reliable. My dad got more worked up as he spoke, his voice rising. Since we can't count on Charlotte, we'll adopt someone thoughtful. If Laura takes care of us in our old age and when we die, we might as well leave this house to her. The whole table was shocked. Everyone looked at each other, no one daring to speak. Some wanted to offer advice, but seeing how determined my parents were, they swallowed their words. The meal ended in a strange atmosphere. After everyone dispersed, Muriel pulled me aside, her face full of worry. Charlotte, have your parents been brainwashed by that housekeeper? How can they say they'll leave the house to her? You need to go back and talk to them properly. You can't let them stay confused like this. I looked at Laura in the distance, laughing and chatting with my parents, and gently shook my head. Maybe they always wanted a caring daughter who could be with them every day and obediently listen to them. I can't be that person. If they want someone else to do it, I can't stop them. The vacation ended quickly, and I prepared to return to New York. Before leaving, I called my dad. No answer. I called my mom. She hung up immediately. I tried several more times, all rejected. I looked at my phone and didn't persist. I pulled my suitcase and went to the station, boarding the train back to New York. Over the next few weeks, I kept seeing my parents' Twitter posts. Today, they were eating hot pot with Laura, the three of them leaning together intimately for a photo. Tomorrow, they were walking in the park together, Laura holding my mom's arm, smiling obediently. The captions all radiated the warmth and harmony of a family of three. I scrolled through the posts without liking or commenting, pretending I hadn't seen them. Then, a few days after another vacation ended, a call suddenly came in. It was my mom. As soon as I answered, I heard her dissatisfied voice come through directly. Charlotte, why haven't you sent this month's living expenses yet? And Laura's salary? Why haven't you paid her either?